There are worlds that never touch the dawn, yet glow with a warmth not born of stars. There are thrones that tremble without sound, and crowns that fall in silence unseen, when a single glance unweaves the pride of kings. So it was when she looked, and light itself forgot its empire. The morning came late that day, its gold hesitant upon the dunes, as though the sun himself lingered behind the veil of her eyes, seeking permission to rise. Every horizon bowed a little lower, every bird stilled mid-flight, and even the wind, that restless wanderer, paused to listen to the prayer hidden in her gaze. She was not fire nor water nor storm, but the quiet law that made them kneel. Her eyes were the oldest scriptures, written before the tongues of men knew worship, and the sun, proud, unyielding, eternal, found in her the first reason to bend, the first ache of devotion, the first whisper of surrender. Her gaze was not merely beauty, it was a mirror that reflected the soul's secret hunger. Every emperor who saw her forgot his crown, for what are gold and realm before that calm infinity? Each one dreamed of being the verse her heart would read, the silence her lips might choose. Yet she belonged to none, not because she refused love, but because her essence was love, boundless and untamed, the ocean that gives without naming. When she walked, shadows learned their shape. When she spoke, the air remembered harmony. When she was silent, even gods grew humble. Her presence was not loud, not fierce. It was the softness that rules by truth, the quiet that humbles thunder. Some said she was born from the moment between two heartbeats, when creation hesitated, when the divine paused, unsure, whether to craft light or longing, and from that hesitation she was made. Half dawn, half eternity. The desert carried stories of her, how her laughter could awaken the sleeping palms, how her tears could turn salt into pearl. Nomads swore that her shadow could cool the noon heat, and poets whispered that her eyes were where the night learned to forget its fear of day. She was mystery wrapped in mercy, the unspoken law that bound all things. No poet could write her fully. No king could own her gaze, for she was not a thing to be conquered. She was the reason conquerors fall. Once the sun himself tried to court her. He sent dawns brighter than dreams, and dusk veiled in gold. But she did not bow, nor turn, nor blush. She simply was. And in that stillness, he found himself burning for her calm. He realized devotion is not in shining. It is in surrender. So he prayed, and the heavens echoed his humility. "Teach me," the sun whispered, "how to love without consuming." She answered not with words, but with silence, a silence that filled the heavens, that taught even fire to be gentle. In her eyes he saw the reflection of every dawn he had ever painted, and for the first time he wept light. Tears of flame fell softly over the horizon, and the world woke under their mercy. That was the morning when every river shimmered like prayer beads. Every mountain glowed as if anointed, and the sea itself sang hymns without sound. It was the morning when mortals looked up and wondered why the light felt alive, why warmth carried a rhythm like a heartbeat. It was the morning when the sun learned devotion. She, meanwhile, walked among the sands, unaware of the divinity she had moved. Her steps left no mark, for the earth, too, dared not hold her too long. She moved like a verse in the air, a poem walking quietly through existence, each breath a prayer unspoken. The stars envied her calm. The moon lingered longer, afraid to miss her passing, and somewhere in the folds of time, the first poet was born, a man who saw her shadow fall upon the dune, and mistook it for revelation. He wrote her name into the wind, and the wind carried it forever. Centuries later, kings would read his verse, and not understand why their hearts ached. They would build temples to the nameless muse, yet none could capture her spirit. For how can eternity be held by stone? How can light be chained to worship? She was beyond praise, beyond prayer. and yet all prayer was secretly hers. The way morning broke over the mountains, the way a mother whispered a name into her child's sleep, the way a lover trembled before saying you, all of it was her echo. There are souls born to be lessons. She was one. Not the kind written in books, but the kind that rewrites the stars. When she looked upon the world, it remembered its origin, the first moment when light touched nothingness and called it home. Those who met her eyes felt that moment return. They stood still, stripped of pride and pretense, feeling a holiness they could not name. She was not worshipped. She was understood, as silence understands music, as the horizon understands longing. Every heart that crossed her path changed its rhythm. The cruel softened. The weary found purpose. Even the proud forgot to speak of themselves, because to be seen by her was to be known, and to be known by her was to remember that one was more than flesh. Sometimes she would sit by the edge of the sea, and the waves would crawl closer, as though seeking her blessing. She'd lift her gaze, and the horizon would widen in gratitude. Fishermen swore their nets grew heavy after her glance, as if the ocean itself offered its wealth in reverence. No one knew her name. Some called her the one who humbles light, others the daughter of stillness. But names are cages, and she could never be caught.